Court is in session and calls number 23CCCR0116, case of style the state of Texas versus Abdul Amar Akbar. Mr. Akbar, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Akbar, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Akbar, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Akbar, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Akbar?
Good.
That's good. Mr. Akbar, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Don Boudreaux. Attorney Boudreaux, how are you doing?
Just fine, sir.
Attorney Boudreaux, do you waive a record in Mr. Akbar's case?
We do, Your Honor.
Mr. Akbar, well, state is represented in this case by Attorney Erica Porter. Attorney Porter, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Your Honor. Thank you.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Now, Mr. Akbar, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Abraham, is that Abraham? How you pronounce your first name?
Abrahman.
Abrahman Amar Akbar, that you committed the class A misdemeanor offense of discharge of a firearm in certain municipalities, which occurred on or about February 7th of 2023. Now, do you understand what you've been charged with, Mr. Akbar?
Yes, sir.
And to discharge Mr. Akbar, how do you plead? Guilty or no contest? Okay, let me do this here. The information says Abdul Amar Akbar. The information says Abdraman. Is that how you pronounce it again?
Abrahman.
Abraman. Okay, that D is silent. Abraman Amar Akbar. Okay, I guess they have him as an AKA Abdul Amar Akbar. Okay, let me do this. I'm gonna write your correct name on this document. Okay. Okay. Let me do this here. Now, Mr. Akbar, your full name is Abraman Amar Akbar. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Akbar, I have before me an information that alleges that you, Abraman Amor Akbar, on or about February 7th of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of discharge of firearm in certain municipalities. Mr. Akbar, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Akbar, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no
No
contest?
contest.
No contest. Now, you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Akbar, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Oh, this document. And on this document, Mr. Akbar, do you recognize this document?
No.
You don't? Just show it to you. I know I made some changes on it. You see here, I corrected your name. Right up here, I corrected your name. It had you as Abdul Akbar. And I changed it to your full name that is on the information, Abraman Amor Akbar. You see that? And here, you see some writing here. This writing is the date of your offense that was omitted off of the plea form. So I wrote it in. The offense date is February 7th of 2023.
Yes, sir.
In fact, what I'm going to do is initial these documents. Okay. Now on page 2 of the same document, is that your signature or your initials?
My initials.
Your initials? All right. Now, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Okay, on page 3, now your initials are on the line next to a box that's check no contender, which means no contest. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this, we didn't sign page 3. Mr. Boudreaux, you got to get your client to sign the page, the document up here. The clerk didn't sign either. Okay. At the top where it says defendant,
I'm sorry. Thought you said, sign your name right here, which is right over the finger.
okay?
Excuse me, Judge.
No problem. Could you sign this? You need to sign. Thank you. And now, Mr. Akbar, is this your signature above the line that is titled defendant on page 3 of this document?
Yes, sir.
The next document is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Let me see, I'm gonna initial this right here. And do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargaining case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that
Yes,
statement?
sir.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that
Yes,
statement?
sir.
I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Akbar, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney, Mr. Boudreaux, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything that Mr. Boudreaux went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Akbar, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me, State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, and State's Exhibit number 2, which is in the court's file, the probable cause affidavit. State, would you like to offer States 1 and 2 in their evidence?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections, Mr. Boudreaux?
No, sir.
No objections, states exhibits 1 and 2 will be admitted into evidence. Mr. Boudreaux, you've advised in counsel, Mr. Agbor. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, sir, there is none.
And Mr. Agbor, your attorney, Mr. Boudreaux, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Agbor, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for the defendant's plea of no contest, the state has offered 30 days in jail, credit for 30 days, time served, tax and retired court costs.
Mr. Agbor, the state is offering that you serve 30 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not be required to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail because the time that you spent in jail will be given to you credit for time served. The court costs in this case, you will not have to pay the court costs because the time that you've spent in jail has already paid it off.
Yes, sir.
Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Mr. Agbor, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
You think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
Do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Agbor, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Agbor, this will conclude your case. If you do not have anything else holding you in jail today, you should be getting out of jail today.
Yes, sir.
He'll be going to TDC, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, Mr. Agbor, please stand on the X next to the attorney and follow the directions of our clerk. This is cause number M334108, case of South State of Texas versus Christopher Ray Bishop Jr. Mr. Bishop, is that your full name? Mr. Bishop, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Bishop, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Bishop, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Bishop? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Bishop. You're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Don Boudreaux. Attorney Boudreaux, do you waive a record in Mr. Bishop's case?
We do, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Bishop. I have before me a document that is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. And in this information, it alleges that you, Christopher Ray Bishop Jr., on or about June 8th of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. Mr. Bishop, do you understand what you've been charged with? And this offense allegedly occurred Jefferson County, Texas, while you operating motor vehicle in a public place on June 8th of 2022. Now, to this charge, how do you plead guilty? Not guilty or no contest? No contest? Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Okay. Now, Mr. Boudreaux, you have to check this box right here that says DWI. Okay, no, that's fine. What is this court cost? You got it. You got it.
I didn't see where we made a mistake, Judge.
Oh. I had it on the, give me that, you can hand that back to me. Right here, where it's here, you gotta erase that and then check the box that says DWI,
Oh,
Class B. And just the box below the one you had checked, it's going to check that box. You see where it says Class B, do you have checked?
yes, sir. I thought it was a class.
It is, but it's like the next, if you read the next paragraph, it says
Oh,
Class B DWI, DWI
I'm
first.
sorry, Judge.
What was the court cost? 452. Okay, thank you. Now, Mr. Bishop, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment, is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. You recognize this document? Now, the box that's checked states that this is a Class B misdemeanor for DWIs. The range of punishment is minimum 72 hours to a maximum 180 days in the county jail, a fine that does not exceed $2,000, or you could give them both such fine and confinement. Do you understand the range of punishment for a Class B misdemeanor DWI? On page 2 of the same document, there are a set of initials on the line that is titled NOLA contingent, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document? On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled definitive. Is this your signature? On the next document that's titled trial court certification, this is not signed either. You have to check these the appropriate boxes. The 2 boxes at the top is usually checked. Yes, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sorry, Judge.
Well, that's not a problem. Okay. All right, thank you.
Mistakes all over the place.
Okay. Now, Mr. Bishop. On this document, there are 2 boxes that's checked. The trial court certification, the defendant's right of appeal. first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you are waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
And this is your signature on the line that's titled defendant. Is that correct? I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Now, Mr. Bishop, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything that he went over? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Bishop, are you a citizen of the United States? State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, and State's number 2, the probable cause affidavit, which is in the court's file. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibits 1 and 2?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections,
No,
Mr.?
sir.
Okay, no objections. State's Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. And Mr. Boudreaux, you've advised in counsel. Mr. Bishop, is there, what y'all, get that door. Okay. Now, oh, okay, I think Mr. Boudreaux, you've advised in counsel, Mr. Bishop. Is there any evidence that he's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, sir.
And Mr. Bishop, your attorney, Mr. Boudreaux, has advised in counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation? Has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation? Mr. Bishop, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for the defendant's plea of guilty and no contest, the state is offered 100 days, probated for 18 months.
You said, you said
180 days.
180 days probate for 18 months, okay?
$500 fine, 80 hours of community service, court cost, and a breathalyzer.
Oh, breathalyzer.
I'm sorry, it's oxalizer.
Oh, you talking about an interlock?
Yeah, intellectualize.
Oh. Okay.
Oxalizer.
Okay, let me do this. Yes, this is 151. Let me make sure it's right. Okay, now, Mr. Bishop, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not be required to serve 180 days because you'll be placed on probation for 18 months. During the 18-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $452. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month, a reimbursement fee of $15 that you was appointed on this case.
Yes, sir.
And you will also be required to reimburse Jefferson County court-appointed attorney's fees, $250. Now, the total monthly installments, that is a total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you're on probation, is $151. Will you be able to pay the $151 each month? You'll also be required to pay Jefferson County DWI education and initial evaluation fee $125 on the day of the plea. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Your total, now, you will also be required to perform 80 hours of community service, install an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate, attend and complete a DWI education class, have a drug and alcohol assessment, and adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of DWI probation. Mr. Bishop, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer? Mr. Bishop, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Bishop, you're going to stand on the X next to your attorney, follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.